Hattiesburg, thanks for joining us for this Friday, August 28th briefing for COVID-19 and other city news. We will start with a test for today. This is Forest General, Hattiesburg Clinic, Mary Health Wesley, Semri, and the Moffitt Health Center at USM. As of this morning, we have seen just over 51,000 tests conducted, with 5,802 of those positive, 44,662 negative, and 537 tests which are pending right now. In the hospital, we have 70 people who are positive for COVID between Forest General and Mary Health Wesley. We have another 5 under investigation. Of those 70, 23 are in the ICU. That's 3 under where they've been the last 2 weeks. Over time, we've seen, especially in the last week or so, the hospitalization number start to come down a lot since the early part of August. We hope that trend continues. Statewide today, we have 599 new positive cases reported in Mississippi, with 14 new deaths. None of those were in Forest or Lamar counties. In terms of new positive cases in our community, Forest County had 6 new cases. Lamar County had 27. Metro area total today was 33. Total as of now, 2,104 in Forest County, 1,426 in Lamar County, just over 3,500 in our metro area since this began in March. Our 5-day average is where we take the number of new positive cases. We average it with the 2 days prior, the 2 days after. Forest County and Lamar County are just about even right now when it comes to their 5-day average, but for the metro area, still under 30. We hope that trend continues to fall as well. Our inside 14-day number, this is where we take the number of positive cases that have come back in the last 2 weeks, which gives us an idea of how many active cases we could have in our community. It's not an exact science, but because COVID-19 typically runs its course within 2 weeks unless there's an adverse reaction, this gives us a good estimate on how many active cases we could have in our community. So in Forest County, that number is at 215. And in Lamar County, that number is at 161. Over time, we've seen that trend come down a lot. We've made a lot of progress in the month of August as we start to near the end in both counties, and we hope that can continue. Our week-over-week comparison, last Friday we were at 218 cases inside 14 days. Today we're at 215, so down 3. Lamar County was up by 13, 148 last week, 161. We are up 10 from last week right now. Hospitals, though, we're down another 10 hospitalizations. ICU, we're down another 5, so those are good trends as well. Our goals continue to be protecting the vulnerable, people who are over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions. If we can do that, we can prevent overrun of the healthcare system. We want to continue seeing that hospitalization number and that ICU utilization go down. And if we can do both of those things, we can prioritize public health while giving the private sector the space it needs to operate. We've made a lot of progress this month, and while we still have to be vigilant, especially with knowing our University of Southern Mississippi students are going to go back to in-person classes the day after Labor Day, and that Hattiesburg Public Schools are going back the day after Labor Day for in-person classes. We have seen a lot of progress in August, and that's even with a lot of our K-12 schools that have been in for 2 weeks now, as well as our William Carey students. It's their first week back. And so we are going to relax the 10 p.m. rule for in-house dining and bars. We're going to push that back to midnight. We will not hesitate to go back the other direction, though, if we start seeing large spikes in infection numbers. And so we do this hoping that people will take personal responsibility over their choices. We hope they will make good personal and collective decisions in terms of what they do. All the mask requirements will still be in place, and we expect not only our people who are going into these places, but also the people who are overseeing those businesses to help us keep an eye on this and to make sure that people are wearing masks, that we're obeying capacity limits. We're also going to open up the food court at 50% capacity, which is the same capacity that other restaurants are using. We also know that the mall has been very good about enforcing mask rules as well, and so we believe this is a responsible step forward while also continuing to prioritize public health in our community. We have 35 days left in the census as of today. Our response rate is 55.4%. I hope this weekend that you will reach out to 2 or 3 of your friends and ask them if they have completed the census yet. If not, HattiesburgCounts.com is the place they can do that. It takes literally 5 minutes, and the consequences of us doing this or not doing this are very profound. Some city news: if you live around the North 38th Avenue area, between Hardy Street and 4th Street, or if you live on USM campus or in the apartments between 38th and 40th, we're getting close to the very end on this project on North 38th Avenue, which I know is a welcome sight to many people, especially getting done a little bit early. But the next step in that is going to be paving North 38th Avenue. And because of the high traffic counts on 38th, we're going to be doing this work at night. And so starting Sunday night at 7 p.m., again, that's weather pending, we will shut down 38th Avenue between Hardy and 4th for us to be working on the paving. It's likely going to take 3 to 4 nights. We will work between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. Traffic will be rerouted to 36th and 37th Avenues. And so 38th Avenue, if you still live on 38th Avenue in one of the apartments or the house, you can still get there, but you'll need to notify flagmen when you come up onto the road and tell them you need to get there, and they will help direct you to your place. And finally, a couple acts of courage for you today. I know 2020 has brought a lot of bad news, and typically we see new reports of bad news every night, but it's a relief and a welcome sight to see good news from time to time. And so a local resident took this picture, sent it to the city of Hattiesburg and the Hattiesburg Police Department's Facebook page of one of our officers, Officer Nightingale, helping a stranded motorist. Our officers believe in doing police work the Hattiesburg way, very community-oriented, getting out and serving in the community, and so we appreciate Officer Nightingale and all that he does. Tomorrow we hit an anniversary that many of us would rather soon forget, and that's the 15th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. All of us remember where we were on August 29th, 2005. I was in the living room on North 37th Avenue, and a pine tree soon joined me there. What we also remember is how much our community came together and how much resolve we have shown in times of tumult. And so Hattiesburg is no stranger to chaos. Hattiesburg is no stranger to disasters. And that summons in us that courage, that resolve to keep going. And I hope that resolve and that courage will stay with us as we go through this marathon of a pandemic. I hope we can summon the best of ourselves each and every day. The other thing that we will also remember is the compassion shown to us by the country, to us, to the rest of South Mississippi, to South Louisiana, people that from all parts of the United States who came to help us, who gave generously. And I hope that we will have that sense of compassion, particularly in the wake of Hurricane Laura, to South Louisiana and Texas, and to any tropical storm we may get the rest of this year. I hope that we'll find that sense of compassion to give where we can, to do all that we can, and to simply be kind to one another. As we go into the weekend, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself. Please wear a mask if you go out in public. Do only what is essential, and remember right now, you are safer at home. Have a great weekend.